Hi guys, I'm Carly and welcome back to my channel, The Planted Carly Flower. Today we're going to talk about a subject that's very talked about in the plant community, but there's a lot of differing opinions on it. Today we're going to talk about plant flipping and whether or not it's ethically okay to do. We're all going to have different opinions on this. We're all going to have different thoughts on it. That's okay. It's okay to have a differing opinion. It's okay to have a different thought. Let's just be respectful of each other in the comments and respectful of my opinion as well. I'm not saying you can't express disagreement. That's totally fine. I expect people to disagree with me, and that's the spice of life. Not all of us are going to be the same. Not all of us are going to feel the same. But we are going to discuss plant flipping today because I myself I've had my first known experience with plant flipping this past week, and I wanted to discuss it with you and how it made me feel as a consumer and as a buyer and as a customer, and how it made me feel as a plant person, and then how it made me feel about this particular incidence in the plant community of plant flipping. Stick with me, we'll get right into it, and we'll have a meaningful discussion, I hope. Thanks. See you in the next frame. Okay, I'm back with another unboxing. Welcome to the Planted Carly Flower YouTube page. I'm Carly, and let's get right into the package. So this just arrived, and the name on the label is a person's name. So I'm not 100% sure what shop this came from, in all honesty. So we're going to have to wait and see what the invoice says, or I'm going to have to look it up. When I figure it out, I will put the name in the description down below. So I open up the box, and the first thing I see is a giant package with paper and things like that. I think I know what this is. I will wait till I unpack it so that you can be surprised, but I'm hoping it's as beautiful when I unpack it as it was when I saw the listing. I'm going to go ahead and lift it out. I'm sorry this is like the worst view ever, but this box is huge because this is an 8-inch planter I'm unboxing. So it's going to be a very big plant. It's a hanging plant, and there's the hanger in the box. I'm going to pull that out, and then I'm going to get all this out of the way so that we have a better surface and you can see what I'm doing. So there's the hanger, and here's the massive package. And again, my desk isn't the biggest on this side, but this is the best place I have to unpack for right now. Once I get my second Mills bow set up upstairs in my bedroom, that will be my background, and I'll do everything on the floor, or I'll get a little table to do it at so that you can see better. I apologize for the horrible view, but I'm just taking off the paper that is wrapped around the plant right now. There is some tape, so I'm cutting through that, and I'm going to start lifting the layers off here. I don't know how many layers there are, but this looks really well packaged so far. I don't see a speck of dirt, and typically plants like this don't ship well when it comes to dirt because it's hard to pack the dirt in with polyfill or towels or paper towels or what have you. So we'll see what we can do here and what it looks like on the inside. It's very possible the dirt's all contained inside this package, but fingers crossed that I don't have to completely replant this. I know when I had other plants that are like this plant sent to me, I ended up having to pretty much repot them because there's just no good way to seal all this dirt in. And you'll know what I mean when you see the plant here in a minute. So it's wrapped in a bunch of newspaper with some tape, and I'm just tearing that off. And we're going to go ahead and lift another layer. They packaged this so well. There was a heating pack in the box as well. So I have high hopes that this plant shipped well. It wasn't very long. It only took about 3 days for this to get to me. I'm not 100% sure where it was coming from. I'd have to look at the label again. But I'm impressed so far. Okay, we're finally to the plant. It's covered with cotton polyfill on top, and there is no dirt. So I'm very hopeful that this plant made it intact. And I think it's going to be good. So I'm just going to start pulling the cotton off and with the way this plant is, I'm pretty sure there's going to be cotton stuck all in the plant, which is a pain, but it's shipped well, and that's what's important. I see a few yellowing strands from the shipping process. That's to be expected. And I'm sure by now you can see that this is a beautiful, beautiful Hoya curtisii, and I just am struck by the foliage. It's so full. I do see a couple yellowing strands and yellowing leaves, like I said, but that's to be expected, as well as this polyfill stuck in all the strands. And upon first inspection, see, I'm still picking polyfill out of here, and I'm thinking that these pots look a little familiar. This is not the pot that I saw in the listing. The listing did say that the pot shape and color could vary, but I don't know for sure. But this is very familiar to me, that I've gotten other Hoyas and other plants in general in these pots, namely from places like Lowe's and Home Depot. I'm going to go ahead and loosen some of these strands here. I guess there's no real big way to know. I can't really jump to conclusions, but I'm suspecting that this is a Hoya curtisii from a big box store. I don't know for sure, but if that is the case, that's kind of disappointing, because that means this plant was flipped. I don't normally do prices on my page, just simply because it doesn't seem to matter much one way or the other. But I did pay $68 for this plant, $65 for the plant, $3 for a heat pack, and then another $11 for shipping. So I paid over $70 for this plant. Again, I don't know if it really is a Home Depot or Lowe's or big box store plant. It could just be the same planter, but that's kind of a big coincidence. I have heard about these popping up in select Home Depots around the United States, but not here, so I don't know for sure. But let's just go ahead and keep pulling this polyfill out. I am loosening up the strands and seeing which ones are trailing, trying to make the plant look good. I apologize for the horrible view of basically my hand. But you can see here that I'm just basically straightening out the strands, loosening up the ones that need to be draping, and kind of getting the plant ready to hang up. The leaves are nice and firm. It does not need any water. It's a beautiful plant. I've gotten most of them straightened out now. You can see there is some yellowing leaves. Again, so common when you ship a plant. That is not a cause for concern for me. It doesn't make me think the plant is... Oh, okay. This here, now that I've turned the plant around for the first time, this here is a Costa Farms price tag. This is a Costa Farms price tag. This plant did in fact come from a big box store, and that means that I more than likely, I purchased a flipped plant. Plant flipping, or as I like to call it, plant scalping, happens when somebody buys a plant for cheap at a local store and then turns around and sells it for an exorbitant amount of money versus just passing along the good deal. And that seems to be what happened to me. The plant is beautiful, but I'm going to collect my thoughts and I will finish this video up here in a little bit. Thank you for joining me, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Okay guys, so we started off with you seeing a very raw and real unboxing of me unboxing the plant and realizing that it had indeed been flipped. I intended to include this in a massive boxing haul that I had recorded, but when I realized it was a flipped plant, I saw an opportunity to talk about this instead, so I excluded it from that video and I'm making this video. So I was really disappointed and hurt, honestly, when I realized I had been a victim of plant flipping, or plant scalping, whatever you want to call it. I know it goes by both terms pretty much equally in the community. I did feel very manipulated and deceived, and almost to be made to feel like I was stupid for buying a plant that was so cheap and so marked up. I mean, she marked it up like 400 and some % and sold it to me. And I just want to talk a little bit about it now that I am calm. I was very, very mad and very, very hurt when I realized what had happened to me. But now it's been a few days and I've had time to process and really think about why I felt that way and what really upset me about it. And I want to discuss that today. If you've ever been a victim of plant flipping, definitely leave your experience in the comments. Whether or not you thought we're okay with it, doesn't matter. It's all still an experience. You still learn something from everything. And I'd love to hear what happened to you and your experience with it and see if it differs or is the same as mine. Anyway, so I was really mad because I felt I had been taken advantage of. She did not disclose that it was a Costa Farms plant. She purposely made the pot very deceiving so that nobody would recognize the Costa Farm pot. And, excuse me, adjust my leg, it's falling asleep. The fact that she went so far to deceive and hide the pot, and it made me feel cheap. It made me feel manipulated. And the sad thing is, had she been honest with me, I'm not even 100% sure I still wouldn't have bought the plant. I understand the plant was in her care for however much time. She took care of it. She gave it light. She watered it. She used her time on it. She might have gone to 2-3 stores to find them. She drove there. I didn't drive there. She stood in line. She dealt with possible COVID going into the stores. And it is an 8-inch overflowing pot of Hoya critecia. I'm not saying it's not worth what I paid. I absolutely think it's worth what I paid, or I wouldn't have bought it. But here's my question to people that plant flip in general. If what you're doing is okay and you are positive of that, which is fine, it is your item. You can do with whatever you want an item that you purchased. It belongs to you. But if you're so okay with it, why don't you link in your description that it's a Costa Farms plant? Why don't you tell people, I paid $17 for this Costa Farms. I got it at Home Depot. I'm selling it for $68 because of my time, my energy, my expenses, and that's what I feel it's worth. Give me the option to decide for myself whether or not I want to purchase that plant. Plant flipping isn't just specific to the plant community, or flipping in general isn't just specific to the plant community. Flipping happens in every type of consumerism there is. I used to be very into baby wearing when I had younger children, and people would buy carriers for $120 and then sell them for $400. That is just the nature of, unfortunately, capitalism. That's the nature of it. That is what happens. People are always looking for a way to make a dollar, and I cannot fault anybody for trying to make money, but I can fault you for shady business practices. If what you're doing is okay and you fully believe what you're doing is okay, why are you not disclosing to your customers that they're getting a plant they can also go get at any Home Depot for $17 if it's in their area? This Hoya critecia is not offered in my area. I've never seen it at any of my big box stores. Any critecia I've ever seen at a nursery is a 2-inch pot for $40. And I've been looking for one on Etsy for a very long time. I did find this one on Mercari, and it was $65 plus $3 for the heat pack and then shipping. So I paid a little over $75. I think I paid around $75 for the plant in total with shipping. It was worth it to me. That's why I bought it. But I really felt lied to and taken advantage of and manipulated about it. And I really wish she had just come out and said, hey, this is a Costa Farms plant. I drove to 3 stores to find them. I bought 4 of them. Here they are. If you want it for X amount of dollars, $65 plus a $3 heat pack plus shipping, we can do business. I probably still would have bought it because I can't get it here. And I'm not willing to wait 6, 7, 9 months, a year till they finally show up here. So I would just have appreciated the respect to make the decision for myself rather than showing up with a tag on it for $17, realizing that I basically got ripped off. It felt like I got ripped off because she took the decision away from me to make for myself as to how I wanted to spend my money. I felt like I was lied to, and it almost probably feels like someone who takes a very deceiving picture of a plant that makes it look huge, and then you get it in the mail and it's really tiny and you're like, wow, that does not look like the picture. That's how I felt. Disappointment, because I did not get what I was expecting. I did not have the experience I was expecting. Ultimately, I probably have been a victim of plant flipping more times than often than not. I buy lots of little 4-inch plants. I don't really buy like small 2 inches anymore, but I buy 4-inch plants, even 6-inch plants. They could be cut apart, Costa Farms, into new pots, separated out, and shipped that way. It's the same thing. But you know, it's never been so blatantly like in my face, this is happening to me. I was mad, I was hurt, and I really don't think it's a good thing to do to the plant community. You're taking advantage of people, and you're taking away their right to decide how they spend their money. Maybe I would have rather waited to find a plant that big and beautiful at Lowe's, and that would have been my choice. But since I did not know that it was a Costa Farms plant, I thought I was buying a plant this person had personally rooted and put together. I thought I was helping a small business. That's not a small business. If you buy plants from big box stores, you empty out the stores so that other people who go there can't get them, can't find them, and then you sell them to other people at a gigantic markup. That's not a small business. That's plant flipping. I personally don't think plant flipping is ethical. It's not good business practice. It's shady. At the very least, you should be telling people what you're doing. If you think it's okay, tell the people what you're doing. You probably will still sell your plants. So I don't see the problem with disclosing, I got this from Lowe's, not my jam, $68 if you want it. But this isn't just my channel. This is your guys' channel too. I want to hear what you think. I am totally fine with disagreement. I'm totally fine with meaningful conversation. Let's just be respectful of each other and each other's opinions. Nobody's going to have the same opinion as you. Nobody's going to feel the same way as you do. People come from different life experiences, backgrounds, financial issues, financial wealth. For some people, $60 is no big deal. For people like me, it's a big deal, and I like to know what I'm spending my money on. But I don't expect everyone to agree with me. So tell me what you think. Is plant flipping a yay or a nay? Would you have bought the plant, or any plant for that matter? Would you buy a plant knowing it was flipped? Are you okay paying more, knowing that you didn't have to go find the plant, deal with the outside world, all that? Let's have a conversation about it. But anyway, this was my experience, and this is how I feel about plant flipping. If you have any questions, comments, please like, subscribe. I really appreciate it. Everything that you do and every way you interact with my channel helps me grow my channel, and I would love to reach more of you so that we can have meaningful discussions in the comments. Let's just keep it respectful. Let's keep it positive and on an upbeat vibe, and I can't wait to see you guys in my next video. Thanks.